Okay, I guess we are live. Yo. What's up, everyone? Howdy, Wrench. Howdy. Wait, you sent some stuff. Yo, fake person. Why are you pretending to be me? Oh, dude. How you doing, my man? Okay, today we are a bit late. As you know, if you were watching Discord, what is the reason? I was in a meeting. But good part is we have file inclusion premium room ready. I want to complete this one, but I also want to spend a bit extra time on this topic today. But before I'll go over what we have to do, let's get a bit of a warm up and talk about Ben Stokes. Anybody wants to talk about that? Where is Rover? Where is our dog bite, man? Where's our man dog bite? I want to explain to him what exactly is that. My D is good, man. My D is good. Since I got into slavery, it has interestingly gone up and down in life. True. Hey. Going back. Indeed, Ben Stokes. Indeed. Okay, I'm just checking on the side. Yo, one more thing. Yeah, I know. I actually was like removing something from my teeth. I don't want that to be a clip on the internet. But yeah, what I was saying though is I started a new campaign. Tomorrow I will post all the details, including a video, very simple video on how to actually properly sign up for that campaign. Because what is happening, I didn't get all the money what I assumed I would for the last one. We were only able to hit 70, but I was hoping we'll get 110 because I know how many people downloaded, how much we played and everything, right? So we lost like 40-50 bucks, or like got 40-50 bucks less than what I assumed we would. That's the unfortunate part. But nevertheless, I got the money. So Wrench, remind me, I will send you an unknown because you guys sent me the messages about the money. Okay, we'll do that. Hopefully you can start saving for the new RAM, given how great the prices are. Have you seen like how jacked up the prices are of the RAM situation? $100,000, brother. No, I can't do that right now. But yeah, this one actually is a good one. I'll go over the campaign with you a little bit. Dude, like, you know the most interesting thing? Samsung situation. Oh yeah, they should. Yeah. So Samsung says RAM cost will likely lead to price hikes soon. It is so bad that Samsung has a couple of wings, right? You know, like Samsung, one part is like that builds RAM, and one part is that builds phones. Samsung, like one of the units, is not able to purchase RAMs from the other unit. That's how bad the prices are and how much these AI companies want. It's crazy. It's like crazy. 60% jump. And we know like a crash is coming because like so much RAM, so much things. The people are buying, spending, but there is no proper uses that are coming where people are like, this AI thing, this is super revolutionary. The only thing I actually will say from AI that came so far is Waymo, or like self-driving cars. Waymo is actually one case I think is really nice, in my opinion. But like I don't see anything else other than Waymo, honestly, which I will like, this is evolutionary. It's like good shit. Because Waymo is actually a product, it's actually doing things. right? I don't see anything else which I will say, oh, like if you are in a rap battle and or like looking at raps. No, dude, self-driving is actually pretty good. Say, imagine this, right? In India, how many cases, like we remember the Porsche case, right? Remember this case, right? Everybody know this case, 2024 Pune Porsche case. The guy, the 17-year-old who was under the influence of alcohol, killed two people, right? IT professionals, and got away by just writing a 300-word essay. Imagine if we actually have self-driving cars. Now these cases would be so much less, way better. Yeah, that's drunk and driving, but like the cases where anywhere in the world, drunk driving is a case. So that's why I support self-driving in this specific case, because people, if there are self-driving cars, cases like Pune Porsche case would be way less, right? Imagine how less cases like this, and that's why I support this specific AI cause a lot. I love it, honestly. And there is actually what's this called? A study done for like I think a million or 100,000 kilometers driven by someone versus a self-driving cars, right? So yeah, like hacking is of course a case, but that's with everything at this point, right? Well, that's big reason I support, because if I go on the road, I don't want to be like get killed, and my parents, like the person who killed, will just write a 300-word essays and go away with it. It's pretty shit. But nevertheless, let's get back into our game, into our bread and butter, I will say. File inclusion vulnerability. It's a big one. Beautiful part about it is like right now on TryHackMe, even this is very well done. They cover a bunch of things like local, remote. Reverse you, what's up, bro? How do you say your name? How should I say your name? For me, I need to know that. Insomnia, what's up, brother? Howdy. So, as I was saying, right? File inclusion, this is very Riv. Okay, sounds good. So, file inclusion, right, will revenue. Riv, no, I will call you Riv. So, file inclusion very well covered, because we have local file inclusion, we have remote file inclusion, we have remediation, and we also have like challenge around it. So, it's a really good one. I'll start in my Brave actually. And also on Monday, this is a Monday thing, I'll show what I want to cover. On Monday, we will cover port swingers file upload vulnerability, which is file inclusion vulnerability anyways. And they have a lot of information. Either I can do is like we can just go over the labs on Monday just for file inclusion, get used to of these, right? Because there's a lot of good information here. So we'll do that as well. That's how much I want to cover for file inclusion. And on the weekend, I'm going to send the PDF for all the stuff we covered so far. Okay? So keep an eye on that, and I will make the announcement. Till then, let's get started with this. I'll send the link. On Brave, I will start my machine. So it's ESDPG. And also, the giveaway is going on in the Discord, so do join the Discord, lads. Here. Okay. With that being said, let's get going with file inclusion. This room introduces file inclusion vulnerabilities, including local file inclusion and remote file inclusion and directory traversal. So, introduction. What is file inclusion? This room aims to equip you with essential knowledge to exploit file inclusion vulnerabilities, including local file inclusion and remote file inclusion, LFI and RFI, and directory traversal. What is file inclusion in basic sense is if you upload a file through a form or anything to a website, right? How you can like manipulate, what issues you can create, or how you can exploit this vulnerability where when you upload the file, you are able to, let's say, get a remote access or able to spread a virus, right? Also, we will discuss the risk of these vulnerabilities if they are found and required remediation. We provide some practical examples of each vulnerability as well as hands-on challenges. In some scenarios, web applications are written to request access to files on a given system, including images, static text, and so on via parameters. Parameters are query parameter strings attached to the URL that could be used to retrieve data or perform actions based on user input. The following diagram breaks down the essential parts. So let me take this image here and go over it with you guys. Okay, so we know in pretty simple cases, right, we have is protocol. We know HTTP or HTTPS. This is the domain name like google.com, blah blah blah. This is important, right? Get.php. What is get.php? It's a file inside the web server. This is a PHP, a server-side file inside the web server, and what it requests, right? Like any method, right? You have a method in anything, like for example, an add method in Python, right? What it requires two numbers, A and B, to do something, right? Maybe A plus B. That's what it returns. Similar thing, get PHP has function, right? It's a file, it's a which do something. What it does requires a file to be uploaded. In this case, it's user cv.php. So imagine you are applying to a website, applying for a job, and you are uploading your CV or your resume. You upload a file. Same case, right? What is the file? It's the parameter. Just like A here is a parameter, B is the second parameter. File is the parameter here, and user.csv is the file basically. So hopefully that makes sense, right? Now, let's read again. Parameters are query parameter strings, right? Your query, okay, what all things to include attached to the URL that could be used to retrieve or perform action based on user input. In this case, it's a user input, user csv.pdf. We are inputting our CV file. For example, parameters used with Google search, right? Where get request pass user input into the search engine. HTTPS www.google.com search and query is TryHackMe, right? What do you want to search? What is your query on Google? TryHackMe. If you're not familiar with the topic, we can view the How Web Works module to understand the concept. So you guys can go if you like. I already covered this earlier last year, so not going to do that again. Let's discuss a scenario where a user requests to access files from the web server. First, the user sends the HTTP request to the web server that includes a file to display. Let's copy this one. Here. Let me make it bigger. That's what she said. Okay. So we have our user sending a file. Okay. First, the user sends the HTTP request to the web server that includes a file to display. So this is the file. User sends this information to the web server. For example, if a user wants to access or display their CV cover letter basically, or curriculum metadata, something like that, within the web application, the request may look like HTTP domain name where the URL be covered, where file is the parameter and the user CSV is the PDF required file. So get PHP is a file inside the web server, where it is in this folder. And inside here, right, CVs are stored inside the CVs folder. This is root, var, www, app, and CV. This is like the hierarchy of folders. Why do file inclusion vulnerabilities happen? File inclusion vulnerabilities are commonly found. Yo, unknown, what's up, bro? File inclusion vulnerabilities are commonly found and exploited in various programming languages for web applications such as PHP that are poorly written and implemented. The main issue of these vulnerabilities is the input validation. Oh, that's wrench. That's wrench. I gave him, I was making a joke that he should make an account where he just says this everywhere he goes in every comment section. The guy is just now bugging me with the same idea. File inclusion vulnerabilities are commonly found and exploited in various programming languages. PHP is notoriously bad for this, right? They are poorly written and implemented. So the methods, a lot of PHP methods by default were poorly written, right? So if anybody have a PHP web using PHP for their web server, poorly written, and they like it's not a programmer thing. It's just PHP had those vulnerabilities. The main issue of these vulnerabilities is the input validation, in which the user inputs are not sanitized or validated, and the user controls them. What that means is, I sent a user input. Let's say there is a comment section on Facebook and they are using PHP, which they used to earlier. In the comment section, I added script source evil.js, right? This is my thing. Now a good programming, what it will do, right? It will change this to ampersand greater or LT this. All of these symbols will be converted to this, right? This is called sanitization. So the data, what you see, doesn't change, but behind the screen, things are being more secure. They are being sanitized and stuff. Problem with PHP, or let's say something like that, something where a vulnerable function or no proper sanitization, this less than or these tags will remain same, right? The whole tag will remain same, which will lead to evil.js being passed to the server, and it can do whatever after that. So that's what here the main issue with the vulnerability is the input validation, in which user inputs are not sanitized or validated. Yeah, it is going on, bro. Go on the Discord and it's in the giveaway. I'll show you after this task. The user controls them. When the input is not validated, the user can pass any input to the function, causing the vulnerability. What is the risk of file inclusion? By default, is a hack the box giveaway? Oh, I didn't know. You can, I think, ask whichever you want, right? Like in this case. By default, an attacker can leverage file inclusion vulnerabilities to leak data, such as code, credentials, or more important files related to web application or operating system. Moreover, if the attacker can write files to the server by any other means, file inclusion might be used in tandem to gain remote command execution, or RCE. A lot of words, right? Let me explain, break it down. So an attacker can leverage file inclusion, right, to leak data. So let's say, for example, in this case, evil.js would be to grab all the files which are in the CV folder, right, and upload to his server. Or it could be like just like code, credentials, anything. It could be include like delete all of them and it's just your one, right, to give you better chances of getting a job. It could be, and this could be related to the programming language you are using, the operating system you are using, the server programs, the frameworks you are using, right? And so many more things. A big one you will see in the challenges is with file inclusion is remote code execution to get reverse shell when you upload a file to a server. Also add cooldown to people who have won. Ah, okay. I can think about that. Like, maybe I can do that. Like, maybe, like I can do for a month. I can do for a month, not like 6 months or a year. But I think unknown. Before I forget, I think you send me the pictures, right? Oh, he will be there tomorrow. Oh, yeah. So here's the giveaway, boss. Oh, I did participate in. It's a TryHackMe premium subscription. So if you go in the giveaway, there you can see all the participants and all the people. Here. So I can think I can add. Just remind me. I will look into cooldown, right? Just and for one at least I can do. Yeah, I understand. Like I think it's just one a month, and the chances are still less. Maybe I'll do 1 month right for now, and if something like this happens where somebody is winning three, I can look into that. But unknown, what I was saying, you did the last one, right? If I'm not wrong, the campaign. A new campaign has started, but from the last one, I received the money, so I have to send you that. Remind me. I'll do the UPI payment. Okay. Now let's get back to our stuff, right? Yeah, I didn't receive all the money because they were like, oh, blah, blah, blah. They were giving me reasons. But I'm like, okay, at least whatever I received, I will distribute. And also, another giveaway will be coming. I've received the money. I'm just thinking what to do. Okay. So, task 2, deploy the virtual machine. Deploy the attached virtual machine. Not here, actually. Brave. We did that. So deploy the virtual machine to follow, apply the techniques as well as do the challenges. In order to access this virtual machine, yeah, it started, but I have to like set up all the things. So I will get that done today. I started it last night itself when I was looking which one to go. And it's a 20 plus days one, so don't worry. 1 second, lads. I really need. I'm getting my headache, so I just need my meds. Okay. Deploy the virtual machine. I've already deployed it in the Brave browser. In order to access this virtual machine, please make sure to connect to TryHackMe network via OpenVPN or access it directly through the attack box, which can be launched by clicking the blue button on the top right. We have done that in the other browser. Yeah, sounds good. Just send me a text and DM me. So I will, in the evening, I will look and I will set things up. Please visit the link which will show you the following things. File inclusion lab. So we'll do that. So this is our link from Brave. Any also, yeah, Laz, do me a favor. Give me suggestions. I have $50-$60. I think I have to look, but I think I have $50, which I can do in the giveaway. So do you want me to do more like 1 month subscription, one Hack the Box subscription, two TryHackMe subscriptions? How you want me to distribute? Send me some suggestions so I can start that giveaway as well. The one I promised. Okay. File inclusion lab. Welcome. Here are the labs that are avail labs that are available to file include room. Okay. Avail to file include. Okay. Whatever. So we have lab 1, local file inclusion vulnerabilities. Then there is this file 2. Okay. I'll just go to here, lab 1, PHP. Okay, this is not working. Good job. I don't know why the machine just stopped. Dude, why TryHackMe's infrastructure is so bad? I've never like last year it was good in the starting, but like after the second half, Yeah. As local VM, I have maybe certain personal stuff in there, like which I'm testing. I don't want to share those files accidentally. I'll clean it up and then from tomorrow I can do that. Okay. I've been just doing some personal stuff in my time. Okay. Nevertheless, right? So basically, start your virtual machine, right? And checkbox this. Let's go to task 3, path traversal, till that thing is working. Yeah, I have to do that. I do have to do that. Indeed. So, yeah, I will do that over the weekend. I think there's a lot of improvements I have to do this year. Okay. Task 3, path traversal, also known as directory traversal. A web security vulnerability allows an attacker to read operating system resources such as local files on the server running an application, right? The attacker exploits this vulnerability by manipulating and abusing the web application's URL to locate and access files or directories stored outside the application's root directory. What this means, right? To give you a very simple example, we have a URL like this. We have a URL like this. Come on. And as we are a bit smart, right? We already know this is this get.php and this server is running inside var www and then html, right? Let's say, or web, right? Whatever it is, right? It's in this directory. The problem they are mentioning, the vulnerability they are mentioning about path traversal is, what if we take this URL and instead of get php we do something like dot dot slash something like a index or whatever, right? That's, and if hoping it works, right? If that works, we were able to get outside of the HTML, and we are right now, because of this, we are in www directory. That's path traversal. That's where we are changing the URL in the way that we are able to move to different directories, right? And see what things are available. So the attacker exploits this vulnerability by manipulating and abusing the web application's URL to locate and access files or directories stored outside the application's root directory. Yes, this is a perfect one. That's exactly I was thinking too. So how it can be used best, just like Insomnia said. So what they will do, instead of dot dot get php or something else, right? They will do dot 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 etc password, giving me all the password hashes, right? Because if you remember, we were in var var www and html. This first one will take me outside var. The second one will take me out of this, right? Sorry, this first one will take me out of HTML. Second one will take me out of www. This one take me out of var, and I go in the root directory, let's say, right? And from there I can go into the etc and then the password directory. That's exactly what we will be doing too in this challenge. Path traversal vulnerabilities occur when the user's input is passed to a function such as file get contents in PHP. It's important to note that the function is not the main contributor to the vulnerability. Offer poor input validation or filtering is the cause of the vulnerability. What this means is, it's not the issue with the function that it is allowing root directory. This type of I'll just copy this again. This type of input should not have been allowed in the first place. It should be like sanitized so that dot dot together through regex should be removed to just slash or nothing, right? It should be removed completely. and this should directly become etc password, and that, given that there is nothing in the HTML directory, right, it won't work. Howdy wrench, howdy. Okay, so poor input validation or filtering is the cause of this vulnerability. In PHP, you can use file get contents to read the contents of a file. You can find more information about the function here. Why it is important to go over these things once in a while, right? Sorry, have to remove this, my ears hurt. But why it is important to read about these things is because if you go to the CVE, look into the CVEs, right? And let's say if I search about PHP, in PHP, I can probably find PHP, let's say this exact function I will mention. Let's see if we get something. There are file get contents have some issues in it, right? That's, as a hacker, you have to keep an eye on. And yeah, I need to get a like, but it's okay. But yeah, this vulnerability, that's how you find these things, right? Okay, he was telling you. I thought he was talking to me. The following graph shows how a web application stores files in var www app. The happy path would be the user requesting the contents of this PDF from a defined path. Right? So here we'll go exactly what Insomnia said, right? So we have this hacker, right? In our get file, right? Instead of like just giving the input file, whatever it was, he did etc password. Why so many dot dots? If we go, this is where the file is in the app and goes to the CV. So first dot will take us out of CVs. Second will take us out of this, and this. Now we are in the root directory. We are at the same level as this, right? Then we can go to etc and get our passwords, and that passwords, all the information will be shown to the hacker. That's how you need to understand what, like, I think once you play Bandit, you will get used to of like the directory structure way better. Hopefully over the wire, just go over the wire. This will give you enough information, or this will help you get used to of that. Yeah, once I will open the VM. Oh, in that VM. Yeah. So let's see here. And we are in PWD, right? Root. If I go ls, I can see that there are rooms. Is that an ad going on? Sorry, lads, I just need to take a quick pause. Is there an ad going on on Twitch for anyone? Where I see the notification came, so that's why I was wondering. No, assuming no, okay. Assuming it's a no, so we'll go here, right? We search, we are in the root directory right now, right? These are the things we have. What I will go is, we were actually not in the root, we were at the root's home directory. Now we are in the root directory, and you see etc password. So if I go back again to the previous one, I want to go and see the passwords etc inside the etc. What I will do, cd etc, and I can just cat this thing, right? I see so many users and their information is available to me. It's in the shadow folder as well. You can see all the hashes and things depending what system is. Okay. So that's what this person or this hacker was trying to do. We can test our URL parameter. We are running this. What? We can test out the URL parameter by adding payloads to see how the web application behaves, right? The command. Oh, there is an add on Twitch. Okay. Howdy, Wrench. Welcome back. We are going to run this. Yeah, I think like in this one, we will run in the first one. Sure, I'm going to solve the lab. Like, I'm just going over all the content. We'll solve the lab. Don't worry. I'll explain everything so it's clear and you probably will be able to do it yourself. So, path traversal attacks, known as // attack, take advantage of moving the directory one step by using the // If the attacker finds the entry point, which in this case is get.php file, right, with the parameter, then the attacker may send something as follows: // 4 times etc password, right? And I showed you how that moves. Suppose there isn't input validation, and instead of accessing the PDF files at this location, the web application retrieves files from other directories like etc password. Each .. entry moves one directory until it reaches the root directory. So this is the perfect way. We were in the CV. One sec. Beautiful. Okay. We were in the CV. This is where things should have gone in the first place, right? One .. got us to app. One .. got us, another second one got us to www. Another one got us to var, and we are in the root. Remember? Then we go to etc, and inside etc we have password. That is simple once you like understand the Linux system, how things work, like the file, right? You will be able to remember it by heart, right? As a result, the web application sends back the content of etc password file. Similarly, if the web application runs a Windows on a Windows server, the attacker needs to provide Windows path. Yeah. For example, if the attacker wants to read boot ini file, it's located in the C drive, right? Almost like the root of Windows, and then there. Then the attacker can try the following to target the operating system: go up, boot ini, or Windows win ini. Right? The same concept applies here as the Linux operating system, where we climb up the directories until we reach the root directory, and from there we get what we want, right? Oh, 752, nice. You guys have like, you are almost there. 7 days. If we reach like 769, I will jump in the snow. Snow is like 2 feet tall almost now. 1 or 2 feet tall easily. Sometimes developers will add filters to limit access to any certain files or directories. Below are some common operating system files we can see when testing. So these are the ones it's important. If we can get this as a cybersecurity pen tester, we can prove there is issues with their application. So etc issue contains a message or system identification to be printed before login prompt. Profile controls system-wide variables such as export variables. Great in terms of knowing what all files are there, what all programs are there, right? Which task you are stuck at, boss? Like first one? Proc version specifies the version of Linux kernel. All registers users who have access to the system in the password. Shadow contains the user's password in the hash form, if I'm wrong, not wrong. Bash history, all the things you did. And all these, like, I think you guys can go over, or maybe I'll just go over. Oh, it's a room in the TryHackMe called Cave. Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, I think for you can type exactly what you need. Maybe you can go in the Discord and mention. We can have a look quickly. So this one, log D message, contains global system messages, including the messages that are logged during system startup. all emails to the root user, all the SSH keys, big thing, right? var log apache access.log, access request of the Apache web server, and this one contains the boot options of computer via BIOS firmware. What function causes path traversal vulnerability? Man cave. What function in PHP contains that? File get content or contents, right? These are certain things you will, with time, you will get more comfortable, I will say. Satya, okay, what exactly you mean? Can you send the picture in Discord? We can have a look. Local file inclusion. What is man cave? I don't know the meaning. Let me search here. Oh, that thing. Nice. LFI attacks against web applications. Yeah, but it's good to like keep it NSFW, I will say. Local file inclusion. LFI attacks against web applications are often due to developers' lack of security awareness. True. With PHP, using functions such as include, require, include once, or require once often contribute to vulnerable web applications. So these functions are notorious for being vulnerable, right? In this room, we are picking on PHP, but it's worth noting LFI vulnerabilities also occur in languages as ASP, .NET, right, JSP, and even Node.js apps, and even Python, right? You can just look at file inclusion vulnerability or CVEs. You will find every single file out, every single language out there or framework. LFI exploits exploits follow the same concepts as path traversal. What is wrong with my? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. Actually, the algo takes one for the reason. Yeah, like I think so. Yeah. In this section, we'll walk you through various LFI scenarios and how to exploit them. Suppose the web application provides two languages and the user can select between EN or AR. So language in the sense what language you want to read the web page in. English, Spanish, other ones, right? So get the language the user wants. The PHP code above uses a GET request via URL parameter lang to include the file of the page. The call can be done by sending the following HTTP request as follows. So lang, we are setting up the parameter here en.php. Yeah, Hindi too. To load English page, Arabic page, or Hindi page, whichever we like, where en.php, ar.php file exist in the same directory. So we have a file that will convert all the data into either English, right, whatever is coming from the database, or Arabic coming from the database. That's the whole file, and we know there's a file like this when we select one of the languages, right? Theoretically, we can access and display any readable file on the server from the code above if there isn't any input validation, right? What it means is we know en.php is on the server. So if no input validation is there, we can see the contents of the en.php. Sounds good, boss. And then once we know the content, we can see, okay, what functions it's using. And from that functions, we are able to like exploit, right? Let's take a quick look. Is it okay if I take a quick look at this? This is a, okay. It's a private room. It's an easy room, but I don't know why I cannot solve it. There is dude, it's a private room. I don't know what to say. I don't even know how to access this. Can you send like the screenshots maybe? That would help. Or maybe talk to unknown. He can help you with that too. He's here. Like I'll just send. Yeah. Okay. Hi Panda. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Okay. Morning, morning, fam. So what we were saying is input validation. If it is not there, we can see the contents of en.php. That's wrench. So en.php, right? It will have those functions: get file content, require one, include one, all those ones which are vulnerable. Let's say we want to read this file, etc password file, very important one, only root can access, which contains sensitive information about the users of the Linux operating system. We can try the following: webapp.thm get.php file etc, right? This one. In this case, if it works because there isn't a directory specified in the include function and no input validation. So if in the input validation, you can just pause these type of words which has etc or something, right? Or there is like you can specify, okay, in a directory specific in the www directory only, nowhere else you can get the contents, right? In this case, it works because there isn't directory specified in the include function and no input validation. Now apply what we discussed and try to read password file. Also answer the question one below. Okay, so let's do our first one. Okay, come on. Let's go here. Yeah, we need access to that room. Nice. That's good. Okay, let's paste and go to this one. Dude, I actually last time I did the music you wanted, I got a copyright strike, so I need to find some copyright free. Sounds good. Just find me some copyright free one. Okay. We are on the lab one, file inclusion lab one. Include a file in the input form below. So I can have, let's say, for example, welcome.php. And this will return me the current path it is in, right? And it says welcome to the TryHackMe, right? What I would do in this case now is I will go. Can I do just etc password? Yo, Vimsy, what's up, bro? Long time no see. Yo, so we just included that and we got all the information we needed. Let's go down. So we have all the information, all the etc password, blah blah blah. Let's see what they want from us. In lab one, a try to read etc password. What would be the requested URI? Okay, the requested URI is the URL path, right? Is this. So we're going to copy lab1.php. Kishore, what's up, bro? Howdy. Did you want anything, Kishore? Yesterday I sent the list. Yo, also lads everywhere. The results for the thing are out. What's this called? What's the name? My brain is like lagging right now. TryHackMe's Advent of Cyber. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Requested URI. Oh. AOC, yes, thank you. Should be like this, right? That's what they want. I don't think anyone here won anything, right? That's crazy. Like nobody in the Discord won anything. Yep, 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 yep. Yep. Grind and buy those themselves. Yeah. That's true. Okay. Now, next, we did our lab 1. Now apply what we discussed. In the second part, right? Next, in the following code, the developer decided to specify the directory inside the function. So what this guy did, how do you say it? The developer, right? Earlier, it was wherever you can find the file, right? Find it everywhere in the system and return it. Now, in this case, he's saying, okay, the file that's inside the languages only, right? Find that. Now you know the // attack, right? In the above code, the developer decided to use include function to call PHP pages in the languages directory only via lang parameter. If there are no input validations, whereas basically this // is not being sanitized properly, the attacker can manipulate the URL by replacing lang input with other operating system sensitive files. Again, the payload looks similar to the path traversal, but it includes the function that allows us to include any called files into the current page. What that exact means is, hey, he said when a user enters a file name, right, the developer is saying, okay, find this file in the languages folder. What we are doing is // // file. Now what we do, we are inside the languages folder, right? We go .. So we come out of the language, we come out of the app, we come out of www, and then we come out of var. 4 .. / 4 directories we move up, and then we get to our etc password file. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get our etc password stuff. So that's what we have to apply. As a backend developer, how you sanitize the input can give you I can give you a quick example here for sure, bro. A lot of languages already have those things, and I will give you a good example. I know about Django, so I'll give you that. What is a directory specified in the include function? So we'll go to our file. Home lab 2. Let's say if I search welcome.php in this case. Should be HTML. I guess so, HTML. No, okay. Worth a try. Okay, we have this. Includes is the one, right? Include function, and then includes hello.php, failed to open the stream, no such file or directory in this place, right? So here we go for our answer. From the error, we are able to find which directory it is. So Kishore, going to your question, right? If you go, for example, Django, Python, there are certain things that are manual, certain are basically like you can do, like Stack Overflow is a good one, right? There's a lot of functions that do already that thing. Serializer, allow complex data such as query sets, model instances to convert to name. No. Nope. So there are these, like certain example is, let's say less than and equal to. Can we convert it to ampersand LT, right? And then the semicolon. There are a lot of functions that can help you with this. You just have to find what is the current good one which is not vulnerable. That's one thing you have to quickly search. Sanitize input, you can learn. And there is like this Python Py, right? Has all these type of libraries that can help you with this thing. Choose two custom models, right? These are the places where, because my idea is there is already a library range. What you should do is maybe make it better. That's I will say. That's way more valuable, because what you end up doing will be like same things other people have done. What you should do is, okay, you see other people's code, how well it is written, try to improve it, right? Because why to do the repetitive task which somebody else have done? Improve their task. That's just my opinion. It's good if you want to do it for the learning, but if you want other people to use it and you have more opportunities in the job section, try to improve these ones. Yeah, 100%. And if you want to go, right, you can go on these projects, look at their GitHub, and those will already have those issues. So input sanitizer. Go on their GitHub, input sanitizer Python, right? There are all the releases. There are issues probably in, not in here one. Okay. Is there GitHub mentioned for this? Project home link. Here it is. No issues mentioned. That's crazy. Maybe find the issue in this one and then create and then do it. Try to break this one, create a issue and then fix it. Why not do that? That'll be cool actually to do. But this doesn't have many stars or many like watches, so that's just one thing. Look for the one which has a lot more, for like Go or something. That would be a good project to put in your resume, I will say. Right? What is the download? Where? Where you mean? Here in the home page? Oh. Oh, the last was in 2022. Yeah. So don't do this one. Like use like input. Just look which is like a big one right now, right? Date last updated. Oh wow. RSA related ones, CLI database backups, something like that. There is a lot you can find. There is a lot you can find. You just have to look for it, look for a good one, and then you once you find it, like just try to improve it. Right? There's so much need, man. There's so much need for good developers. Like it's never going to be like low. It's I don't know if I should say this. Should I? Have you seen what Go? I don't know if you guys have been watching this. I think it was this guy. This might go a little bit. No. Like the crash out that happened. Let me send you the image. What's the name? Rob Pike, creator of Go, crash out. I don't know if you guys saw his tweet recently. He legit tweeted this. So crazy thing he said. So, just yeah, interesting things going on. Have a look at it. Rob Spike, Go creator, right? Look at his crash out. It's very interesting. I I don't know whose side I will take in this one. I respect him because he has done a lot and he lost his job because of AI, but AI is using his created work, open source work. So it's a lot, right? It's crazy. Okay, going back after the stuff, right? Let's do the last task because I have to get back to do some work. Let's do our last task, task 5, and then we'll do remote file inclusion, remediation, and challenge tomorrow, along with our CTF challenge. So, local file inclusion, LFI continued. In this task, we have a little bit deeper into LFI. Yeah, yeah. We got a little bit deeper in LFI. We discussed a couple of techniques to bypass the filter within the include function. You want me to go complete the whole room? That's what you want? Let me know if you want me to complete the whole room, or is it okay if I go at task 5? Okay. Okay. So in this task, we'll go a little bit deeper into local file inclusion. We discussed a couple of techniques to bypass the filter within the include function. Number 3, in the first 2 videos, we checked the code for the web app and then we knew how to exploit it. However, in this case, we are performing black box testing in which we don't have the source code. In this case, errors are significant in understanding how the data is passed and processed in the web app. So from data, from the errors you will produce, you will be grabbing data to understand what's going on, how the code is written, right, and try to figure out and do a LFI through that. In this scenario, we have following entry point, http index.php lang en. If we enter a invalid input such as TryHackMe, we get the following error: failed to open stream, no such file, blah 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 in this thm4 index.php. So we know the error message discloses significant information by entering thm as the input, and an error message shows what the include function looks like. Include languages thm.php. If you look at the directory closely, we can tell the function includes files in the language directory is adding .php at the end of this. So we entered just thm, we got, or like we entered just index or whatever, we are getting thm.php. We just entered thm, so that .php is being added at the entry at the end. Thus the input validation will be something as follows: index.php, if we put en, language en, it will be converting en to en.php. No, don't worry. Also, the error message discloses another important piece of information about the full web application directory, that the for lab 4 we are running it in the directory var www html thm-4. To exploit this, we need to use /trick as described in the directory traversal section earlier on the out of the current folder and do something like this: lang something something. But note that we used 4 slashes because we know the path has 4 levels, but we'll still receive the following error. So in nutshell, when we are entering the file name, it's becoming file.php. I have to read the whole thing. I will read all the text later. So this is how it's becoming. And moreover, what is coming? We know we are in the directory it is running is var www html thm4. Those are the 2 things we got from the error, and that's what they explained in this here, that it's including .php at the end and it is in this running in this file. So when we do our previous attack, right, with all the / and etc password, we are getting etc password.php is not available. It seems we could move out of PHP directory, but the include function reads .php at the end, and that's what we have to like create a solution how to remove .php. Now, in this a case like this, it's important that you understand what language you are going against. Why? If it was Python, right? Python, like for example, let's say there's some in the file inclusion, like file becoming file.py. What you want to do, you want to exclude this. So how you will do, you might just comment it out, right? How you are able to comment it out, because you know how the comments, right, look like in Python. In case of Java, you would use this, or JavaScript, you will use the same thing, right? So it's important to know which language you are going against. It's important to know your enemy or the system you are going against. In PHP, we use something called null bytes to get rid of problems like this, where things are being added at the end, right? Let's read how null bytes look like. This tells us that the developer specifies the file type to pass to include the function. Developer wants us to only access .php files. To bypass that safeguard the developer created, we use null bytes, which look something like this. There are other ways to represent null bytes in PHP. This is a common one. Using null bytes is an injection technique where URL encoded presentations such as these. So these are the two ways to put null bytes in hex with a user supplied data to terminate strings. You could think of it as trying to trick the web app into disregarding whatever comes after the null byte. Just like a comment, whatever comes after the comment is ignored by the compiler. Null bytes do the same thing in PHP, where whatever you type after this null byte gets ignored, right? After this, data terminates the string. The compiler doesn't check what's going on. By adding the null bytes at the end of the payload, we tell the include function to ignore anything after the null byte, which may look like this, right? Here, everything will be gone and it will end up like this. Note, null byte tricked is fixed and now not working for PHP 5.3.4. Important, right? So now you know this version, anything like 5.3.3, 3.2, all these, the null byte, if you find an application with those versions, you can still do null byte and get away with local file inclusion. You can check which website is using PHP for making the website secure using something called Shodan to make the file secure. Do not hack it, tell them they have issue. I need to start putting disclaimer. Okay, now apply this same thing in lab 3 to get our answer. I feel like I might end up being in prison one day because I say things and I don't have a disclaimer. Okay, so let's try this. Hello. If I enter hello, it said includes hello.php is not in here, and this is the location for lab 3, right? And I just entered hello. So what I want is password, but I will add null bytes. Let's see. Not here. Still no such file or anything found. I'll do my original one. Let's see if this works. Oh, we need 4 of these. So includes this one is not here, failed to open. So my null byte I have to change. It is for educational purposes only, yes. So if I do this, let's just copy this. That's what I'm doing. Includes this. We came out once, twice, 3, 4, 5. No. Jai Shri Ram, brother. Jai Shri Ram. Failed to open the old stream. My client take no responsibility. No such file or directory in here. Ashutosh, Jai Shri Ram, brother. Okay, user live 5.2. So we are using PHP 5.2. So null byte should work. What I can do is, how about this? Oh, wrong. Failed to open upstream, no such file in this. So we know it's in includes. This gets out of includes. This gets out of HTML. www var. Is it because I'm entering an extra one accidentally? This PHP is still getting added. That's the issue. Okay. Oh, up here. Maybe I should add, right? This PHP is getting included, so I have to do something like this. Maybe like this. Lang equal etc password. Okay, I can try that. Oh, okay. Like here you mean, right? Okay, this is getting me out of it. Okay, so I think then I can do this. Yeah, got it. Yeah. I think, yeah, this was the issue. Like, things were getting sanitized in the front end when the URL was being sent. So I had to just do that there. Okay. Thank you, boss. Good. Okay, got that done. What they want for answer 3. Give a lab 3 to try this. What does the request look like? Okay. The request look like, I think, lab4.php file equals etc PASSWD, right? Okay. Something like this, no? Should be like, Oh, lab 3. My brain, man. Just so many meetings in the morning. That's why I don't like meetings in the morning. It just kills my brain. Okay. So we completed lab 3. Now let's go to lab 4 and 5, and then we have 6. Oh boy. Okay. It is like 10:06. I think I should get back to work. Um yeah, I think I should do that. Let's do lab 4. Yeah, it is at 10 a.m. Let's do lab 4. Let's do one last lab. After this, we'll continue on tomorrow. Okay? I'm actually interested. I like file inclusion. It's actually something, the most hacking thing I like doing. So, okay, let's do lab 4. Okay, one more. So, in this section, the developer decided to filter keywords to avoid disclosing sensitive information. The /etc password file is being filtered. There are two possible methods to bypass the filter. Yes, Insomnia, it's AM though. Yeah. There are two possible methods to bypass the filter. First, by using null bytes, or the current directory trick at the end of the filtered keyword. Yeah. The exploit will be similar to this etc password lang etc password. We could also use lang etc password this like null bytes to make it clearer. If we try this concept in the file inclusion using cd dot dot, which is change directory, it will get you back one step. However, if you do cd dot, just one single dot, it stays in the current directory. Similarly, if you try etc password this, it results in etc password. So basically, if you do go inside etc directory and then password directory, let's say, and then you do dot dot, so you go back, basically this will be removed and you are in etc directory. And that's because we moved one to the root. Dot dot means come out of the closet almost. Now if we try etc password dot, just one dot, that means we are still in the same directory. So many words, zero explanation properly in my opinion. So I'll explain to you in the easiest sense. There are two ways we play CD. CD dot dot or CD dot. One dot versus two dots. What's the difference in between these two? Dot dot is, let's say if you are in root etc, or giving you example, better example, let's say home desktop, right? If you do cd dot dot once and you are in the home desktop area, you will go up one. With two dots, you go up one directory. Good night, bro. Just stay, Wrench. Just stay for 2 more minutes. We'll be done. Okay? Just stay for 2 more minutes. So with two dot dots, we come out one, right? If we add 4 dot dots like this, we'll go to the root directory. But if we do just one dot, we stay in the desktop directory. That's what it means. So when we were doing dot dot slash, we are coming out one. Dot dot slash, we are coming out twice. Stuff like that. So now we need to apply the same understanding and figure out read password in lab 4, our last lab for the day. So let's go to lab4.php. Let's say if I do /etc/password, what is happening? You are not allowed to see source files. Okay. File content preview, not allowed to see source files. Okay. Well, we got it. Because I just went up and I know null byte. So if there is anything that is happening, I don't care what's happening. But whatever was happening, because of the null bytes, I removed all that function. Right? Hopefully you got that idea that if the developer being a smartass, the developer, what he did, he's like, oh, you know what? You are including something in the include function where we put our file. Something is being entered, and then I'm going to have like special information here that don't go outside this directly, blah blah blah. I will have those functions. What we did, we said cancel all this doesn't exist to the system, and just say give us this file we want. Oh yes, I am. Yeah. But I am a BBX developer, CRP. We don't even have clients, we don't even have users. I was a React developer, but I did really well on the sanitization part. Yes, I shame my own people. Okay. In this case, yeah. Dude, I have seen how bad developers are, man. It's just it's painful. But yeah, that's all, lads. That's all for today. I'm just thankful for everyone for joining, like helping me support this. I'm sending my Discord. Do join it. Giveaway going on. A very good night to you, Wrench. Thank you for joining, mate. I'll run a quick ad on Twitch. Right, you guys can go grab some water. It will help me get some extra couple dollars to do more giveaways. But tomorrow I'm coming to complete the whole lab, and we will be doing the one of the, I think, Lofi that was requested CTF tomorrow. So we'll do that. Yo, bro, you solved it. Nice. That's awesome. Send the image. There is a flex room. I'll show you. We have a flex channel. Every time we do something, we flex. Like, for example, my 2026 resolution is every week I want to have at least average of 5,000 steps. Right? So we do our flex. If you do lead code, do there. You do advent of cyber, these things. It's amazing. Null bytes is for older version. Yes, it's still like 5.3 I think 4. They mentioned that. But there must be something more coming, right, Kishore? Things come. Oh, you were at that one. Okay, yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Nice. Good job, bro. Satya, good job. Okay, lads. With that being said, right, I'll complete this room tomorrow and we'll do our CTF, our weekly CTF. Lofi is the requested one. Let me have a look. Beautiful. Oh, wow. 358. Oh, damn. Oh, wrong one. Damn. Okay, yeah. I'm starting the ad on Twitch. Thank you so much, lads. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another great session on TryHackMe CTF challenges. Till then, thank you so much. This has been your favorite censored hacker signing off with a big bye. Thank you so much, lads. Have a good one. Bye.